Match number 7 is afoot, and we couldn't be happier to bring it to you. It is indeed the Auzom Premier League EU Finals, day number 2. We only have a couple of more matches on our hands, but we're super excited to bring them to you nonetheless. My name is Bogdan Boogie Carp, and with me I have Lee Smith. D man, how are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing very good, and this time we have things all clear and crystal to see, which is great for us
Oh
as these
yes.
last two games get underway.
Yeah.
The question is, can the boys of either Vitality Alliance or Method, or maybe even Rogue or Lumbermill, they're all within 800 points, all knew they'd be close to each other. Can any of them chase down FaZe? FaZe themselves looks like they're going to be going for their usual spot back over to Milton Power this time, unless they're really going to mess with, I tell you what. No, I think they're just having a look around. They're just looking to look around Novo because they have gone Novo before in the past, haven't they?
Well, yeah, they're known to go wherever they want, really. Well, it might be a bit of a battle there. We'll see if it pans out or not, or for whoever team it does pan out. But yeah, that playing trajectory, it is depriving a lot of the teams that would normally go northwest of their current looting rounds. But then again, there's not that many teams. The Knights are just gonna have to go for vehicles where they are right now, and that's exactly what they're doing. It doesn't look like anybody else is that affected. Pentasports are still going to be roaming around their normal farming area, whilst Vitality are going to be okay as well. It's just going to be FaZe versus Alliance. That might be the battle that we might start things off with, but actually it's not going to be the only one. It does look like the former Penta Squad, the Diamond Dogs, are going to be facing TSM. It seems here. Curious things indeed will occur in this here matchup.
Yeah, and ironically, it's TSM that are 100 points behind the Diamond Dogs. Actually, 118 if you want to get
Dun, dun,
specific.
dun.
Yeah, so they are the team actually that is winning. TSM not having a good finals, just 12th place for them so far. So they could do with picking up a chicken dinner or something just to really make it a little nicer to look at. At the moment, they have got this North Georgia Bowl split between them. You can see Ultras off in the distance there, over in the, I don't really call it the courthouse, the police station. It's got many names. It's got a lot of floors as well. So Liquid, remember the plane, of course, did go across. He went South Africa, kind of to Georgia Pole, so he did cut out. Yasnaya a fair amount. They finally got themselves some vehicles. Looks like they're heading to Yasnaya now. Looks like they've had a little bit of a spread loot, as it were, around there. But everybody else is kind of in their location. Knights are heading on over to the spread. They've had to have all 4 members in one car. That's not ideal for them.
Definitely not. And we saw earlier on one of the guys from Lumbermill actually getting killed. Bookie, unfortunate for him, as he was caught offset by Liquid Something. Now, that's going to see him put down. Of course, there's still 3 members left out of that squad there, so it's not all worse, all things considered. But Liquid here, looking at them, they do have indeed a vehicle, or 3 rather, to work themselves Yasnaya Poliana, and that's exactly where they're going to be going. I'm not too sure where Scoom has went. I cannot see him just yet, but oh yeah, there he is, down to the very south of the current screen. There you go. There's Scoom. Bit far away there. Doesn't necessarily have anything to loot around that part. Perhaps looking for a rare spawn vehicle around that area there to try and find himself some loot. Fortunately, though, he will be able to get some loot from his teammates because they're going to be looted up from Yasnaya, even though it took them quite a while to get in there. So I'm suspecting here, Lee, that they're going to go in quite late. So what Liquid do, which is not necessarily what they normally do, but because now they're going to be late to the party anyway, they might as well stay around and loot.
Yeah, indeed. FC Ispo, we see they're down in towards the south side of Gatka, kind of standard for them at the moment in this tournament. Actually, Circle does go their way as well, so it's down over towards the Gatka area. I guess it's pretty much central in and around the swamp and the radar tower, so they're probably going to be main compounds that they look towards. Anything sort of Gatka and west is where they're going to be heading. We know, of course, the Circle will bounce away from the water, so Gatka's probably going to be prime territory. Not so much Gatka itself, but the compounds around it, which is why we're seeing Andy Pyro on the early rotate, looking to try and get one of those prime spots away from FC Ispo. Did they just swing down into Gatka?
Yeah,
They did.
indeed. That they did indeed. It's going to be Andy on 8C, holding close to one another. Now, they know that Espo like to come here and loot, so I'm not too sure what's going to be occurring in this bit of a battle. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to be any kind of battle. And that one member from Espo has made his way out, it seems. So, Gatka is now going to be in the hands of Method, who will probably soon join forces as well with Chris and Stapp, Russell and Pachinki looting up. Sure, why wouldn't they? Their 2 teammates are in a good spot at the minute. It's not that necessarily easy to reach them, but then again, Gatka could potentially see some surprising angles, but I do believe in Andy's firing prowess to keep everybody out. Suntouch as well as Cloudtail quite close to entering the circle themselves.
Did I just see Scoom on foot in the middle of nowhere back there? I'm pretty sure I
Yeah.
did. He is on foot. Yeah, he is. Yeah, so he's really hurting for a vehicle right now. He's got items,
Okay.
so he's okay. So he's geared up. Doesn't have any med kits by the looks of it, but a DP and an M4. So he's not in a bad situation, just no vehicles to be spoken of. And it doesn't look like I can see any on the screen anywhere either. So
Nope.
looks like he's got a bit of a run ahead of him.
Yeah, that's it. And again, as we said before, now he can fend off for himself, which is the important part. He's got that level 1 loot, vest and armor. Vest and armor, or rather vest and helmet, and he's got those 2 weapons to fend off for himself, should he need to, if Vitality and if Penta would rotate towards him. But
Rory swimming?
the rest of the loot was probably going to come to him as well. Is Rory swimming? That's a good question. Let's find out. Yes, he is, actually. Rory is indeed swimming. I think he might have spotted the gentleman out of Diamond Dogs, so he might have been forced into this water.
Yeah, he's gone well. Okay, I wasn't sure if he's maybe seen a jet ski or something he was going towards, or a boat, but he's just, just why not go and swim across Georgia Bowl Bay. You're inside the circle. You got all the time in the world, so why not have a peek down there? But Digital Chaos, they are making their way across along, actually very close to One and Imperial. You can see Cloudtail in the distance there, but Fausto going to try and get through. Larry not going to be able to land the shots on him, unfortunately, as DC. Oh, Fausto so low on hit points. One more hit. Oh, if he landed heavy, that could have been enough to jar him. If he hits anything sort of clipping wise, it will absolutely knock him. But he does get away with it.
He does get away with it as well, but Suntouch doesn't. It looks like Mickey takes him out, and it will be a frag for Owen as well. Stolen. In the meantime, aim from TSM did get Ultra Star down as well, so Diamond Dogs are going to be hurting up in North George. We'll see how that one works out here. It doesn't like aim and break are together, while Smack is close to them as well. Ultra, peeking outside of that building that you're calling, well, prison, police station, whatever you call it, library. It doesn't look like it could be a police station, and that's anyway. Tuho Yuko, in the meantime, gets himself taken out from his UAZ by Mini Frizz Jr. That is quite a long-range frag, considering that Tuchel was quite fast moving around that UAZ. Digger is going to be trying to help out his teammate Mini, trying to help out his teammate Tuchel by taking shots at Mini, and they seem to be working so far so good. But he also needs to be careful because I don't think that he's able to get a res on his fallen teammate.
Right, hopefully my mic's not so bad now, as wild as it was.
Good.
Yeah, the good old takeover of Skype that tends to do that sometimes, and I'm just going to ruin all your settings across every application you have. So, so apologies for maybe blitzing people's vocal. Probably actually, luckily, Skyline may have dealt with that for me.
He did.
Now he's going to put it up for me because I just trusted that, but just to mess with him. But anyway, rotations. We were talking about that. Obviously, the teams that do tend to come late. And we were talking about this earlier on. FaZe have to go now, because if it was a northern rotation, they'd go way up the north. Now, because it's a full West Coast setup, they have to go around the hills of Milta. The Vitality themselves obviously just have to be avoided. Milta themselves, the Vitality guys, they have to also swing north of Farm because they know that Penta are there. It's like it's this whole little game that these teams play just to all avoid the paths that everybody else is in. Speaking of Scoom, going back to him, he's found a car. Woo, he's safe.
Yes, indeed, he's going to be joining forces with his teammates who are now leaving Yasnaya, so it seems. I cannot see too much on my end here. I'm not sure if it's a difference for you, Lee, but for me, it doesn't seem that anything is happening at the moment. So if you do see something, let me know, and I'll pass it over to you.
No, I froze as well, so
okay.
it's good. So I can cover as much as I can. Yeah, it's definitely frozen at the moment. TSM looks like they're going to be getting out of North Church K this time. Diamond Dogs did kind of leave them on their own, while Zuptat now they're going to get themselves as central as they can, looking like they're going for the edge of the swamp sort of area, while FC Eastpo are going to try and take the radar tower in as much as suitable locations as they can. And Rogue, they're also going south of Chopsticks. But those are the current positions, or the positions that I last saw. I'm hoping that I can see it as soon as possible.
And we're hoping that indeed we'll come at you when we know for sure that we do have visuals on our screens. In the meantime, I'm pretty sure that's kind of taking care of this one, so no problem whatsoever. We're gonna come at you as soon as possible. We haven't a lot of technical difficulties, Lee. It's never easy when it's a final on, is it? But then again, that's always the case. You know, for online tournaments, this kind of sort of thing does happen. So do bear with us, and thank you so much for being patient in there in the chat. Thank you so much once again for everybody coming in and watching here tonight. We are indeed we're trying our best, and you know what? We're gonna make it our best as soon as we get video, though. I mean, it's kind of you know, needed, I suppose, Lee. So we're actually going to be going. So I've been told right now from production from Skylar, we're going to be going for a quick break, Reno. And while we fix this issue, and we're going to come back at you as soon as this is sorted. We will be looking at the map and we will be showing you that. So there's at least that. So break time, and we'll come back soon. And welcome back at it. Thank you guys for that patient moment from you. We did see one of the members from Rogue get himself knocked out at the hands of Vitality, but it does look like the fight isn't yet over. DC are on the other side. Simsy and Yuck is actually, I think they're inside the compound here. So Shiv, Monkey, and Shadow are going to have their hands full quite soon. Yuck is playing on the outside. That nade might catch him off guard. It might indeed. Let's see if it does occur or not. It will be deep enough that Boogie does not have the solid underneath to cover it. But Yak is actually going to be saved by a deeper knee. That's something that we definitely didn't expect.
Yeah, just about gets away with it. It rolled just a little too far. But he manages to get himself bandaged up. And now Ewan's trying to come as well. Look at the Ewan. He's coming from the shack on the right-hand side as well. So he's going to have the aerial vision effectively. If Monkey tries to push around the side, he will get clipped out. So Yoki is safe for now. But Simsy trying to reposition himself in that bathroom. Shots coming in. There's another nade rattling past. That doesn't manage to catch on Shiv. As Ewan, he's down in the chopstick, actually. So he's keeping that as an angle to give himself. It's Fausto that's over there. Fausto trying to give himself the angle as Ewan goes for the push.
Yes, indeed. He's going to be on the flank side there. Fausto might be joining forces soon enough. It doesn't look like Vitality want to push this one whatsoever. They're playing this one safe. They've dropped some smokes as well to try and hide their path. But oh, would you look at Araxi? Oh, he was not expected at all by anyone. He's going to be brought down to nothing.
What's
In the
this
meantime,
there?
what Simsy whips his shot is going to be Shim that will trade blows with him, but Simsy comes out on top on this duel. I think Araxi ran out of bullets. In the meantime, it looks like Simsy's going to be knocked out himself. There's a chance for Vitality to get a res on their fallen teammate Shiv as the last man from Digital Chaos. I think that was indeed Fausto. I think he's quite far away. Or is
Yeah,
he?
he was in chopsticks.
Yep,
He's
there
moved
you
into
go.
the other building, so just trying to keep himself safe. And FaZe just off to the south of that as well.
What
So
was that?
Haxetti taking some long range shots on towards Vitality. Let's have a look around, update you guys. Obviously, you've been watching as much as you can. Liquid have got themselves in that really nice compound, fairly as central as they can, but they've got to be careful. Rogue are in the ditch just near them as well, while Zuktat Nam have actually gone for a 2-2 split. Got two people in the bunker, in the shack, basically sort of area. Meanwhile, these guys just posted down on the ridge line of the hill. Looking towards TSM, AMPR, making his way down the west coast. Going to get himself a bit of property on the coastline, beachfront property for the rest of TSM to roll on into.
Yes, and it looks to be untaken so far, so they're going to be okay with holding on to that compound for as long as they can. When the time will call it, perhaps they're going to rotate closer to where Rory is. Smack is going to be helping him out as well. Some shots being taken so far here, it looks like, as well. Method are going to get... no, they're not actually going to be too bothered by them, and they're going to keep on their position. Drayden, in the meantime, with that Scar 8x on top, we'll see him on the move, rather. There's not much time for these teams to actually take on fights right now. As you can see, there's still 16 teams left alive. In the meantime, Samti, with a bit of a car crash. Unfortunate as it may be, he's still not killed, so res might occur indeed.
Yeah, may well do. They should be able to get it up. Scoom, and he beats him. Meanwhile, for Liquid here, just keeping themselves on this hill. They've gone for this 2-2 split. The other two members are just outside the yellow building, fairly central above the ditch. So Scoom and Liquid are going to move down into there. Circle updates, and it goes pretty much where I was expecting, on towards the swamp area, Uncharged and Zuktat Nam, basically central of this. The swamp is now going to get very busy. Alliance look like they're going to go for it early as possible. Rory and Smack just off on the coastline on the edge there by the road. Looks like Smack's going to try and get down into the swamp, but realizing from the call from his teammates that Alliance are coming in. Fuzzface and co leading the charge for FaZe as they try and charge in towards the swamp. Everybody wants to get in these buildings around the side, but you can see they're already taken. Fuzzface's vehicle's flipped himself. He just about gets safe, though, away from Minifridge Jr. uncharged.
Zoktanam on one side is going to be Espo on the other. Not an easy task for him to stay alive at this moment in time. It looks like his team are going to be wise and rotate somewhere else. And so far, they have made their way a bit deeper rather than first phase, getting himself knocked out by a nade from the Uncharged. So here comes Yannick, taking some shots at the Knights here. Voxic is in a very dangerous place, but he somehow gets out, and Yannick gets himself traded as well by Draydon. And the Knights have a chance at life, but not for long. They're spotted where they are. They're going to be peppered with shots from all sorts of direction. Rogue as well, so close to them, and I don't think Rogue nor Liquid will stop firing at them here. Liquid are pushing as well, so you're gonna have two different enemy teams in front of them, and it does look like Ewan does get frags with the nade. It's just gonna be Draydon and Survivor left for the Knights, while Fuffins and Ewan are now hiding from Liquid as well. Ooh, this has become a very, very hot battle.
Yeah, look at Liquid. They're flanking around this. They're looking for it. Now, they did this yesterday, I believe it was, on FaZe. There was a lot of action going on. They got a knock, and they pushed as a team. The problem is, in that time, they got took out from behind. The question is anyone able to shoot them from behind? I think they're safe at the moment. I think they can try and push in and maybe get the double hit with both Rogue and Knights engaged. I think they should probably let them play it out, which is why we're seeing them backing off and thinking, okay, let's go in and wait for the victor, and then we'll try and destroy them as and when. But everybody else kind of creeping in. There's a couple sneaking around. Vitality going way south, actually, while the Knights and Rogue try and engage here in the center.
But they are indeed. Whilst the lumber mill find themselves a nice little place on the north side there, of course, to them, and then between them and the next team, there's a big wide open field, so they're going to hold on to their angle as much as they can. Some smokes deployed in the meantime for the gentlemen of Rogue and
Just a
Knights.
couple of smokes.
Just a couple of smokes there, not too many, of course. We get it, bro. You vape, I guess, is what is what is supposed to say in these situations. In the meantime, it looks like Digger is holding on to the antenna area there, not receiving too many shots here. He will go for a booster and then go back into the fight. But I think that's the last man standing from Espo. Again, having a very, very difficult rotation. Yeah, I can't see anybody else from Espo here. Okay. Oh, there are two gentlemen on the very southeast side of it at the Harry Potter Tower. I remember the Harry Potter tower specifically. I call it the Larson Tower because that's where Larson had a. Oh my God, I'll tell you after the matches. He had this 200 IQ play that is probably going to remain with me forever.
Well, TSM have slowly crept in. You can see Smack now on the edge of the swamp. Got to be careful. FaZe are off on the other side. Basically, Smack being Shrek right now, I guess, as he's just in his little shack in the swamp. But the rest of TSM not going to be joining him. Rory, Sprick, and AMPR just off on the side at the moment. TSM not really been their day, unfortunately, or their week, effectively, as they've had some pretty rough results overall. The Knights still keeping 2 members alive, despite being right on top of 2 members of Rogue. The Dogs all up in towards the corner there. And you see Brexico and Chronix just taking a little peek from the hillside, looking down into the swamp as they move towards the satellite dish there. Oh, and the circle swings onto the hillside. That's going to make things interesting. Penta up on this hillside. They got 3rd place in the previous game. This gives them a good chance to try and creep up that scoreboard.
Liquid want to make some sort of a side peek angle there. You can see Ibiza and his teammate holding on to that spot. Drayden might some spot them as well, but they actually decide to leave with their vehicle. That is a smart call at this moment in time, making sure that they have the next circle to themselves. Now, good thing about this circle is that it has a lot of forests and a lot of cover areas. Not a lot of cover areas, was much better than the previous one if it would have swung central. But the bad thing is that a lot of teams are going to have to rotate, and the north side of this circle, as you can see, specifically the northwest side, is riddled with teams. So a lot of teams are going to make their way through the same angle. As you can see, early teams are trying to rotate in. Knights and Rogue still at it. Digital Chaos at the danger of dying down as the last man standing. Fausto was well, he was receiving some shots, of course, from the boys from Method. In the meantime, Digger as well in the danger of having his team gone first, as it looks like there will be a push coming in from the Imperial. We'll see how it pans out. That nade won't connect with anybody here, but Digger is going to be peeked in by 3 separate angles, and he's now wide in the open. Cloudtail spots him. He's going to be putting the shots on him, but not a lot of them connect. Cloudtail's going to be peeking.
What is he aiming?
Oh, that's it. Oh, okay, so it's just going to be the other 2 lads from Espo in this confrontation as he is out.
Man, he was spraying and hitting just about everything but for a while there. That was pretty close there, Cloudtail. Not too sure where he was aiming. Meanwhile, the Diamond Dogs are being executed by Alliance. Calvin Klein's the only one that managed to make it inside. He's got himself on towards the 2nd floor. Tomil is down. Calvin Klein will be gone. Taken down by Udime Fire as well, actually, from up on the hillside. Liquid, they made a really good move. We saw them, obviously, they were looking to engage earlier on with the Knights and Rogue, who has still remained here. Instead, they chose, you know what, let's get into vehicles, let's back away, get into vehicles and get away from this one. Now they've got the hill advantage. Foffins has been knocked already. Ewan on his own now, if the Knights realize that. But unfortunately, they're getting picked apart from range as well. Survivor just heals himself up the second that Dre gets tagged down. Meanwhile, Method in the distance, they are being obliterated by Liquid. Chris and Stab. Chris goes down. Stab, the last man standing for his team there, as they are all bleeding out heavily, just being lit up by FC Uspo and Liquid.
Yes, indeed. It's a very hard place to be in right now, and it doesn't look they have a lot of chances to stay alive. It's just going to be Stab, I do believe, in the meantime, staying alive for that one. I think it's going to have to be him as well. He cannot raise himself at all. As soon as he goes crouch, he might be spotted either by Liquid or Espo. So he actually smartly deploys the smoke in there. So he could go for the rest of his fallen teammate. We'll see if he does do that. In the meantime, we see Mickey, indeed, from Team 1. Bush, they have absolutely no idea that he's in there.
It's Raz, not Mickey. Raz. John Baker, aka Raz. So he's an ex-Pod 4
right?
pro.
You would know better.
Yeah, ex-Pod 4 guy. So he's been around for a long time. But yeah, Raz. I don't know why he's always had that MKI on the end of his name. He's always
Mickey.
had
I like it.
Mickey. Hey, Mickey.
From today on out, you're going to be Mickey. There you go.
Imperial looking to take a little red dot peek at Mexi here from FaZe, seeing if he can find him, just looking at the smallest angles, and both Mexi does as well. He's like, I see you out there. You're not so sneaky. The blue on his back, and now they're going to have to push in. Smack, meanwhile, is going to have to leave his shed. AMPR's already gone out. Here comes Shrek. He's going to make his run around the side, see if he can get as close as he can. Meanwhile, TSM, they're looking to post up and try and find some shots on certain angles onto FaZe. He just got a glimpse of Yempty in the window there. Maybe on a lining up, Yempty. Oh, he got lucky. He got lucky. I don't know how, because you see the bullet. You see where the bullet hit, and Yempty's head was there. How did that not land?
It's just, you know, sometimes you get PUBG'd. That's the only thing I can think of. But at least the circle is decent to both of these teams, so they're not going to have to rotate that heavily. In the meantime, it looks like Stab did indeed get a res on Chris, so Method are going to be too strong. Liquid, of course, also have a little tiny bit of the circle as well as Raz MKI, the SCOD legend, as you may know him indeed as well. Lee has just a tiny patch in there, but he's soon going to get pushed in by Method, who don't necessarily have a chance to push in from anywhere else. Now, Pete cut out in the blue, and it looks like FaZe have his number, have his days numbered rather. And as soon as you would peek out or come closer here, they're going to hear him and will peek to him as well. But he's got a little bit of a wall to work with, and he potentially is going to push onto that one there. Yes, he does. But 5 seconds in, and he's going to have to make his way further down south with not a lot of HP. I think that might be the end of him.
Yeah, FaZe just down to 2 as well, so they need to make their way down. I saw Fuffins is also creeping his way in. Piddy's going to get up. The Blues on his back again. FaZe are more worried about having to move themselves. The Empty's actually fairly exposed to Piddy as he comes around this corner, but the Empty is looking that direction. You can see just waiting for someone to come around the corner. Liquid, meanwhile, are lighting up. Rogue and the Knights both going down there. So we're down to 12 teams now remaining as TSM continue to try and trade fire. They landed a couple of shots onto Mexi once again in the distance from the other side of the swamp. Zooked now, meanwhile, have not moved out of their compound while Liquid continue up the hill.
Yes, indeed they do now. Espo want to have a little fun as well. They hear those smokes quite close to their north. So they're going to be checking their angles before they get into the circle. And as they do, they might catch Method off guard. And need, let's see if it does follow in. Skyline following that one beautifully here. It does seem to get quite close to Chris, but it doesn't connect with him at all. It was just between the two gentlemen of Method, so they get a second chance at life as Espo will decide to leave that battle and make their way in, not knowing for sure if there's enemies there or not. But FaZe are getting absolutely bodied here with this hard rotation, and it looks like it's just Mixie now left as his teammates, well, they're nowhere to be seen, and Mixie just barely hanging on to the match with a sliver of life left. Remind you guys at home, they finished 8th in the previous match, but they have a decent lead at this moment.
Managed to get his team crawling into Yasnaya yesterday and get them, I think it was 4th place overall. So just gave them the necessary points. This is just what every FaZe member can do, but at the moment he's getting lit up. It looks like the Zooked Nam guys have managed to take him down. They have. Aki finds him, and that will be FaZe going down in 11th place. And that's great news for everybody else in the chase. There's 5 teams, in 800 points plus, but they are all chasing a big scoreline of 1,208 points that FaZe hold at the moment. Raz basically in a bush right on top of Liquid here. You can see Liquid all passing by. He beats Jeems. Everybody will just pass on by. He's not the only man, though. Look at Stab out wide, along with the other member, Chris, down there, from both members of Method having to work their way into the circle. Liquid at the moment are looking in prime spot, but they've got to be careful. They're spreading really wide. Samti's about to find the entirety of the squad from Zooked Nam. It's got to be careful. Oi, my word. Nearly gets knocked.
He does indeed, and that's a good chance for Zooked Nam to make their push. It looks like the in charge is going to be dropping an 8 up top there, but somehow does not connect with Samti, who manages to pop up a first aid kit in the meantime. His teammates will be holding on to the same angle there. James and Scoom will help him out, as well as Ibita coming close by. So it's going to be a difficult rotation for Zooked Nam, of course, but it's also going to be a difficult rotation for TSM if you look at the northwest side of the circle, as they will be gate kept by Alliance here, it seems. Samti trying to find out if the team that he was firing on earlier on rotated anywhere else. They haven't. They're coming in from the same angle, perhaps a bit more to the right. Uncharged, still strong on the nade game, but we'll have to really connect with all of them right now because it's Liquid taking them, breaking them apart one by one, it seems.
TSM actually landed the shots on Liquid on the top. Smack managed to down Samti, I think it was, I saw there, which is why when they come on the edge, they were in perfect position to just annihilate Zooked Nam. But now they're in a real precarious spot. James is going to be going just to catch a little peek on Uncharged as he comes up, along with Scoom. But they've had to swing their attention this way because they were dealing with FC Espo behind and Method. So they've managed to deal with them. Uncharged will get lit up. James down. Scoom is the last man standing at the moment for his team. And he's got 2 members. Aki pushing up the side. Diggle Rap's coming up behind. Diggle Rap should be able to line the shots up on Scoom. And Scoom will go down. Liquid, who were in such a good spot, will be annihilated and go down in 8th place.
Liquid are known for extending a bit more to just to make sure. Oh, that nade was beautiful. That bounce was quite sick. Liquid are known to extend a little bit more onto their safe spot. If they know they have the circle, they will try to keep as many teams out as possible. They're a very efficient team at doing so. This time around, though, not so much. it looks like they got down. But Rory here also downs a player from Alliance, the ones that were trying to gatekeep his team out. It's still Sigsy left alive though, and with that vision, he might be able to take Rory down. He does put the good shots on him. He will connect them. He will take him out, and it's going to be him that actually has to go in for a bit of a more safer approach because Aim and Smack are quite close to him, just on the other side of this cliff.
So the DP up close, that's going to do a lot of damage, and it certainly will take NPR down. I mean, Rory, the last man, NPR manages to catch him in the backside, and that will be Alliance going down. We're down to 5 teams suddenly. Gustav is trying to tank out the blue as well, so we're probably going to be down to 4 in very couple of moments. Vitality with 3, Penta with 4, Zuktetnam with 4 back up now, and NPR all alone. There goes Gustav. So we're down to the final 4. It's looking good for either Zuktetnam or Penta, unless Vitality can play devil's advocate in the middle.
And we'll see what happens in the meantime. You see teams trying to be proactive for the next circle, trying to make sure that nobody is coming in from their close angles. So they're working left and right just to make sure that their entrance is going to be quite safe. Now, team right here, Penta Sports, have heard the shots come in from Aim. And they will suspect someone here 100%, but they don't know exactly of his position. So in the meantime, Marius, AMPR, is going to be busy looting up from both his fallen teammates, and actually his fallen teammates didn't make it inside the circle, but from the one that actually was DPing his teammates. But Penta Sports are quite close to him, and this might be a good moment for him to step up and clutch it, because he is going to be coming in from the backside. However, Zuktetnam are getting peppered themselves by enemy squads.
Couple of nades being tossed out there, but nothing really connecting, it seems. Dingarabs is the forward man for Zuktetnam. He's got to be careful. Brexicos just pushing it over the brow of the hill, just taking a peek towards him. Vitality are getting drawn to this. You can see them coming in. Now they're starting to take some shots. Vitality lighting up as well, trying to get themselves an angle on the Zuktetnam. So at the moment, all shots heading towards the Dutch boys. AMPR, meanwhile, just creeping his way in on that cliffside to try and make sure he doesn't get pulled into this fight and see if he can get a couple more points for his team.
Yes, see, indeed. Vitality, in the meantime, will push as slow as the blue would come in, as slow as they would be allowed to. In the meantime, Mini, a very talented man, this must be said, he used to play with Noxious as well.
That's a good nade.
He might be catching that nade. How was that not a kill on Brexco? I do not know, but this one surely is. Another one will connect, and he will be knocked out. Aim is just sitting on the backside, watching this unfold. He will take some shots at his enemies there, getting come close to a down, but then he comes with it as well. There you go, a down does happen, and a kill as well just after that. But now he's got a different squad to deal with here. Zuktetnam, we're going to peek in him. He's got the good shots, and he does connect them as well. Aim doing really good effort here, but he's soon going to be peeked in by more players. Just a sliver of life left, and there he goes. And well, that's a bit of an unfortunate time, but Zuktetnam still holding strong.
But that's surely given the game to Vitality now, right? That's given them prime position. We'll see. Aki's on the flank. Vitality, they're in the best spot to chase down FaZe, right? Shadow and Monkey here, just inside the zone. They get themselves a little closer, but the circle goes the way of Zuktetnam. Aki in the side, 4 players alive. Managing to get the revives off. So they're doing a really good job at dealing with Penta here, who've basically been just blown apart by the singular nade, and then AMPR popping up and playing complete spoiler on them. But Vitality, they're on 875 points. So if they were to get a chicken dinner here, and bearing in mind FaZe went out fairly early, around about 9th or 10th place, didn't they? It would give them a really big point difference to try and gain on first place. We could be set for an absolute epic finish here if Vitality can step up.
Yeah, that is true. But then again, the circle is so open that I cannot see them step too much in, to the safety of the next one without getting absolutely bodied. We see if they do or not just quite soon, because there's just 10 seconds until the circle will start to strangle. In the meantime, we do see Zuktetnam trying to keep Penta Sports outside of it. Let's see if shots will connect. Some nades will definitely rain back and forth. Shots do come in. And this is so dangerous for Zuktetnam. But look at this one. Actually, he's going to be Penta that gets taken down. Udir may fire as the last man. No, he's not the last man standing. There's one more played in for Penta Sports. Again, we cannot see too much, but we do see that there's one guy on the right-hand side of the screen who is absolutely bodying Zuktetnam at this moment in time. And Vitality are quite happy with this.
Yeah, Vitality looking like in a great position now. Eki, he's the only man that's around the side. Vitality have got one down as well, though, so they need to sort themselves out. Eki is thinking, can I get to my team? Can I try and revive them? He's not really in a spot to do that with just a couple alive. Manages to find an angle, gets a spray down, gets a peek over on the side there, tries to get another one, and Eki surely takes it for his team. Incredible stuff from Zugtatnam in the end there. Really well played on their push, not only through Team Liquid, but dealing with Penta, dealing with obviously AMPR, and dealing with Vitality. Really good finish from them.
Yes, indeed. The GG and the chicken dinner for the team that was on the 13th place. That should see them climb up beautifully, perhaps even on the 10th. We'll see if that occurs or not later on. It's all about the Diamond Dogs. And well, actually, Diamond Dogs have finished off quite early on into the game. So yeah, we'll have to let our analysts dissect this game here. But it was a good one nonetheless. And guess what? We got one more coming up for you. This was match number 7. So match number 8 will follow suit in just a few minutes. But until then, it's time to listen to what our intelligent counterparts have to say.